yes sirree. Played his songs, what do you know? I'd go anywhere to hear old Joe. His red shoes on and that's no lie. Playing songs about the love of his life. He writes songs left and right about life and other things. His wife died. They're the couple that can't be beat. His red shoes and I is so sweet. If you see a guy playing a red guitar, belongs to Cheryl, she's a superstar. But those red shoes, they are all Joe. If they wear out, he'll go buy more. Joe's red shoes, how can he lose? Uxorious man, he'll never sing the blues. Joe's red shoes, no, he'll never lose. He has his beautiful wife and those crazy, crazy red shoes. Do-do-do-do-do.
Got these walking blues from my head down to my shoe. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Got these aches and pain, baby, from my feet up to my brain. I just can't seem to shake these aches and pain. Shake 'em, baby, shake. Shake 'em, baby, shake. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Hi, Robert. Good to see you. We got the doggone bill. They're giving me the chill. I just can't seem to shake these doggone bills. Got me no good friends, yeah, now they're gonna be my end. I just can't seem to shake these no good friends. Shake, baby, shake. Shake 'em, baby, shake. I just can't seem to shake these no good friends. Got these walking blues, I got 'em through and through. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Got these walking blues, yeah, I hope I'll give them to you. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Shake 'em, baby, shake. Shake 'em, baby, shake. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Just can't seem to shake now. I just can't seem to shake. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Just can't seem to shake. I just can't seem to shake. I just can't seem to shake these walking blues. Thank you. Thanks, John. And sound-wise, is this working? Oh, okay, super. Thank you. So I'm talking to some folks earlier. Said I came out here from Indiana 7 years ago. So here's a little, just a ridiculous little autobiographical song that will introduce me to you. How's that? It's called Ordinary Joe. I am my father's son. I am my mother's too. I come from the Hoosier state. My sister's name is Sue. No matter what you think, no matter what you know, I've always been and will always be an ordinary Joe. Sue married a man, John Young is his name. My wife has died, she's a lot of fun. Thank goodness those two did not marry, 'cause sadly then she'd be die young. No matter what you think, no matter what you know, I've always been and will always be an ordinary Joe. I play music with my friends at night. I like to hike most every day. I never did get the hang of work, but I damn sure know how to play. Am I my father's son? Am I my mother's too? I come from the Hoosier state. My sister's name's Sue. No matter what you think, no matter what you know, I've always been and will always be an ordinary Joe. So welcome to Peach's Patio. Apparently Lou's has been around since 1937, but I don't think he has. I'm my father's son. I am my mother through and through. I come from old Kokomo, grew up on Lake Tippecanoe. No matter what you think, no matter what you know, I've always been and will always be an ordinary Joe. I've always been and will always be an ordinary Joe. Thank you. Now, some of you may think you know me.
Well, now we do.
Or so you may think. But let me share something with you just because it's ridiculously fun. At least I think it is. So for a number of years, I've gone to some songwriter retreats. And one that I really enjoy going to is called Lamb's Retreat for Songwriters. It's in Michigan, usually the first 2 weekends in November. And you get a song assignment on a Friday, afternoon, and Sunday, before noon, you're playing your brand new song. So it's, there's 45 people kind of like, oh, what do I do with this assignment? I've got like 48 hours or less. So this was my assignment a couple years ago. Number 10, Joe Peters. The thing that bugs me about liberals is that they all seem to be so smart and fair and nice. Well, maybe not all, most of them. Another thing that bugs me is that they're always trying to be progressive and change things for the better. That bugs me a lot. What really bugs me the most about liberals is that they appear to be healthy. You must admit, a lot of them do look good, even without makeup. Must be a vegetarian lifestyle kind of thing. But see, that right there, that vegetarian thing, that's what makes them soft on crime. I got a card in my wallet from the NRA. I vote Republican on election day. I'll defend to the death the religious right, cops and lawyers and the business right. Those liberal fools want gun control. They buy the Democrats and all their bull. They think a woman should have a choice, that black lives matter and deserve a voice. But the thing about them I most hate is there's never any meat upon their plate. No pork, no beef, no, not even chicken. Come on, man, you gotta be shitting. This liberal thing makes them soft on crime. And that right there's where I draw the line. Well, how do you trust someone like that? veg-head liberal un-American rat. Thinking thick heads drive me nuts. I'll kick their commie pinko butts. They're always preaching be the change and carrying signs and acting strange. But when it comes to toting guns, they hide in caves like monks and nuns. They wear yoga pants and drive a Prius. Lord Almighty, God help me, Jesus. But the thing about them I hate most, at the tailgate party they preen and boast. I grill burgers, dogs, and steaks. They stir-fried tofu, for heaven's sake. So they act so prissy, smart and nice. No smoke or drink or other vice. Well, how do you trust someone like that? Veg-head liberal un-American rat. Well, how do you trust someone like that? Veg-head liberal un-American rat. So, anyway, this assignment was the second year there, and the first year, you know, there's 45 of us or whatever, and they say, any vegetarians? And one hand goes up, and it's mine. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that's like, oh, I got this guy's number. I'll play with him the following year. I'm blowing all over the place. Thank you very much.
The answer, my friend.
And Joan's not around, is she?
She's on her way back.
Okay, then I will save this song for a little bit because she did request it, and I put it in the set list, and I don't want her to miss it. So, moving right along. Yes. So my wife and I, my wife's on the back row. She doesn't like to be pointed out, but I like to point her out. Anyway, we've lived many years overseas, and in 1998, I had just written, recorded, and released my first ever album, and it was called Given Birth. And it was September 5th, I had a CD release party in Indiana, and like 2 weeks later, I flew to Hanoi, Vietnam, because Di had taken a job there, and I was to go join her for some years. And so it was a big move. And so 2 weeks after riding this high of, you know, releasing an album, I'm in Hanoi, and I don't know a soul, I don't know the food, and I don't know the place. And I'm in a place called the Army Hotel. It was run by the Vietnamese Army, and Di still had work to do in Indonesia. So I arrived, and like 2 days later, she took off for 2 weeks. So here I am in the Army Hotel, and it's like, well, great. So I was kind of getting low down and funky, and so, you know, I had a guitar though, and so I wrote a song, and then I felt world's better. This is called Low Down Funky Mood. I don't wanna go out, I don't wanna stay in. Don't know where I'm going, don't care where I've been. My stomach is growling, but I don't wanna eat, and I don't like the cold, and I can't stand the heat. Well, now I left my job, I couldn't handle the pace. I moved away, I couldn't stand the place. But now that I'm here, I think I'd rather be there. You know, my dream come true is now my worst nightmare. I'm in a low-down, funky mood, so just leave me alone while I sit and brood. I don't mean to be nasty, don't want to be rude, but I've got a problem with my attitude. Well, now I want to talk to someone, I don't want to be alone. But if I'd ever hear it ring, I'd never pick up the phone. My throat is dry, but I don't want to drink, and I don't want to take a bath, but I'm beginning to stink. Woo. Well, now I know I should quit 'cause it's making me blue, but if I finish this song, I'll have nothing to do. So I think I'll go on and continue to groan. I'm beginning to like this here funky zone. I'm in a low-down funky mood, so leave me alone. Well, I sit and brood. I don't mean to be nasty, don't want to be rude, but I've got a problem with my attitude. Well, now I know I should stop 'cause I'm getting to use just one more verse, then I'll be through. And if you don't like these lyrics 'cause I bitch and moan, then you just hum the tune and make up your own. I'm in a low-down funky mood, so just leave me alone. Well, I sit and brood. I don't mean to be nasty, don't want to be rude, but I've got a problem with my attitude. I'm in a low-down funky mood. I don't mean to be nasty, don't want to be rude, but I've got a problem with my attitude. A little bitty, got a problem, a little bitty problem, got a bad attitude. A little bitty, got a problem, a little bitty problem, I got a bad attitude. Everybody, I got a problem, a little bitty problem, got a bad attitude. One more time, I got a problem, a little bitty problem, got a bad attitude. Thank you. Thanks to Mike Miller for coming down from, are you? Yeah, there you go. That's it. You are so right. Well, I know that John Allred is here, and thank you, John, for coming. He's a wonderful videographer, and he has become part of music communities here and there, and providing an amazing and wonderful service for musicians and fans alike, because he records just wonderful videos and makes them available to us. It's just like, there's John. He came down from heaven too, I think.
Can I piggyback on what you just said?
Yes, please.
I've been performing, live 40-something years, and you never get an opportunity to see yourself as others see you. Having somebody videotape you and it allows you to see, watch your posture, watch your pitch. It really helps improve you, and at some point I'll get improved enough to post some of the stuff that he's filmed with me. but it's such an invaluable tool, and I've never had this opportunity, and I'm just so grateful for it. So a big hand for John.
Yeah, John, thank you, man. So one thing that I noticed this week, because John, he was going to take a trip and then didn't, and so he became available to be here today, and so we were kind of communicating back and forth this week, and this week he listened to Lou's podcast, and I don't know if any of you have tuned into any episodes of Lou's wonderful Gramps Makes Shit Up, or Just Makes Shit Up. And but they're delightful, many with musicians, and I'm very grateful that he reached out and interviewed me for that podcast, and John heard it this week, and he said, Dr. Peters. He goes, layers that I don't know about. So anyway, yeah, my wife and I did our PhDs in North Carolina in the 80s and 90s. And while in North Carolina, came across a fellow named Bo Lozoff, and he had started in 1974 something called the Prison Ashram Project, and it was with Ram Dass. Ram Dass was a fellow whose real name was Richard Alpert, and he was at Harvard with Andrew Weil and Timothy Leary. So the three of them were investigating all sorts of aspects of human consciousness. And Ram Dass became very much of a spiritual writer and leader. So Bo and Ram formed this prison ashram project, which became the Human Kindness Foundation, which exists to this day. And Di and I, the Human Kindness Foundation started something called Kindness House, and the whole mission is that they reach out to prisoners and they say, you know, your prison cell is just like a monk's cell. Monks go in there voluntarily to find liberation. You can use this experience the same way. And here are resources. And he was a fine author. His first book's called We're All Doing Time. And half of the book is correspondence between Bo and prisoners. And it's very insightful. Bo's whole motto was, the lowest of the low is more dear to me than your only child. So, somebody who's led a lot of people to the light. So I wrote this song for Bo, and he's passed away. He was killed in a motorcycle accident some years ago. But this is called We're All Doing Time, and it's dedicated to those who are just courageous and reach out to those who are by circumstances often of their own making, in circumstances that are dreadful but could be used for the positive. So I call this We're All Doing Time. Here's a little song, I'll send it on its way to all the prisoners in their cells. Whether we know it now or never realize, we're all doing time. Dear Boncita, you know I killed a man. He didn't like my new tattoo. Now they won't let me out, I'll never see the light. I don't know what to do. Here's a little song, I'll send it on its way to all the prisoners in their cells. Whether we know it now or never realize, we're all doing time. Hey there, Brother Deep, it's good to hear from you. You can change if you want to. No, they won't let you out, but you can see the light. You can do what you must do. Love or hate, voices we make. Why repeat the same mistake? Break the chain, heal the pain. We all can be the change. Here's a little song, I'll send it on its way to all the prisoners in their cells. Whether we know it now or never realize, we're all doing time. We're all doing time. We're all prisoners of the mind. We're all doing time. Thank you. Thank you. So, not being from California or the Bay Area, you know, you come out and you don't know what's the rock station? What do you listen to? I mean, so over time, I've gotten acquainted. Like in Concord, we have KVHS, and it has the Beat of Diablo Sunday nights at 7 p.m. and it's local music. A guy named Dave Hughes hosts that. He's played my music a number of times. So I'm just it's nice to get to know stations, and it's particularly ones that are not particularly commercial. KPEX out of Seattle has bought a station in San Francisco now, and they're broadcasting. But mostly I listen to NPR, and I don't know if you folks listen to NPR. KQED is the station out here, and so anyway, this is called my NPR. And are you ready?
Sure.
Joan, welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Do you need time?
Oh, no. I'm here to pass on.
Oh, okay. So my NPR, and Joan, good to see you. I sit and listen to my NPR. It's where I get my morning news. But lately I've been thinking that they've gone too far. The news just gives me the blues. You got your war in the Ukraine now. And let's see. I had to rewrite these words. It used to be we put our soldiers in Iraq and never brought them back, but we did. So you got your war in the Ukraine now. Russia invaded. The tanks rolled in and the drones went up, and everybody's wasted. They got a wall that divides them all along the Gaza Strip. They hate each other and they hate us too, and they're not about to quit. I sit and listen to my NPR. It's where I get my noontime news. But lately I've been thinking that they've gone too far. The news just gives me the blues. You got your hole up in the ozone layer and global climate change. They're burning forests and polluting the seas, and they don't even think it's strange. Our kids will wonder what we've done to the place when we're dead and gone, running out of water and everything else, and we can't tell right from wrong. So pledge your money and support your cause. Tune in tomorrow for more of the same, here in the land of the free. I sit and listen to my NPR. It's where I get my evening news. But lately I've been thinking that they've gone too far. The news just gives me the blues. I want my NPR. Lulu on the kazoo. Mwah. Thank you.
Heretofore known as Kazulu.
The Kazulu. Oh boy, that could stick, Lou. Pardon?
It's a southeastern tribe in Africa.
And what are they called? Kazulu? Suddenly you are a tribe in Africa. Joan, welcome back. This song's for you.
Oh, thank you.
So that same songwriters retreat, year before last I was there, and the song assignment came from a crossword puzzle, and mine had something to do with fixing things, like fixing breakfast. So I called this the Fix It song. Some people say their food is fixed, fixing to fix fried eggs and grits. Others say they prepare a meal, while some folks make dinner. So what's the deal? Fix your breakfast, fix your car, fix your hair, fix your guitar, fix the dog, I know Peaches, fix the cat, fix the tire when it goes flat. Fixing things saves you money, helps the earth out, that's no joke. So fix your eggs any way you want for breakfast. Just don't fix it if it ain't broke. Some seek to fix, blame for the past, while others fix the die that's cast. Well, there are some things you cannot fix. A broken egg, politics, fix a table, fix the chair, fix the fight, fix with a stare. I'll fix your wagon, I'll fix you good. Well, I need a fix, that's understood. Fixing things takes time. When you make meringue, separate the yolk. So fix your dinner, fix your dessert. Just don't fix it if it ain't broke. So fix your eggs any way you want for breakfast. Just don't fix it if it ain't broke. There's a truth often spoken: you shall not break what isn't broken. Right. Well, I moved out here to the Walnut Creek area in 2017, early 2017. And you know what happened in January of 2017? Someone was inaugurated. Someone with lots of secrets. And then, yeah, probably. And then the very next month, February of 2017, I got word from friends back in Indiana that these two young teenage girls had just been murdered on a trail that I used to hike all the time. And it's like, what? It was kind of nationally known because it's still unresolved. It's called the Delphi murders, and these two young girls. Yeah. So it's like, wow, a lot of secrets out there. So, music for me is therapy, and whenever I get in a funk, like a low-down funky mood, writing a song is the way out for me. So, but as Todd Snyder says, and I embrace this because it's true for me. I don't write these things and say these things and sing them to you to change your mind about anything. I do so to ease my own mind about everything. Secrets of the heart, secrets of the soul. Everyone's got secrets, yeah, never to be told. Secrets grimly dark, secrets so depraved. Some of us have secrets that we'll carry to the grave, singing, oh, singing, oh. Secrets you and me, secrets him and her, Some admit to secrets, but there's others we infer. Secrets we can share, secrets we can share. Some confess their secrets in their lonely hour of prayer, singing, oh, singing, oh. Secrets day and night, secrets left and right. Politicians all have secrets hidden from our sight. Secrets about love, secrets full of hate. Let us unearth secrets now before it's all too late. Singing, oh, oh, singing, oh. Singing, oh, singing, oh. Secrets of the heart, secrets of the soul. All of us have secrets never to be told. Yeah. Thank you. And Mike is super sport. He doesn't know most of these songs. Has never heard them in his life, and yet here he is, willing to drum with me to make this a little more interesting for you.
Great.
So thank you, Mike.
Yeah, yeah, didn't sorry, I mean, he sent me the songs, and I did the best I could.
Oh no, that was not a critique or
No,
a
no,
criticism.
no. He's trying to give me a cover that I don't deserve. Honestly, but endings, if you're a musician in the crowd, ending a song and get with somebody else is the hardest thing in the world. And I'm in a band, and I'm constantly trying to get the band to curse endings. So work on the beginning, work on the ending. The middle will figure itself out. So my apologies if I'm not right on point with it.
Damn it, Mike.
See, I would have never known.
There you go. Really? Exactly. Don't reveal your secrets, Joe. What are you doing? Dude, we played these 100 times.
We love the was it?
Yes.
We love the low education listeners.
So I consider myself a folk singer, because I just tell stories and make shit up. I mean, that's what Lou does. He's my mentor. So I was working on a song, and just kind of, it's kind of this whole selfie thing, and it took years to kind of generate, because there was the whole selfie stick thing, and all that, and it's like selfie. And so I had a couple verses, and kind of even had a chorus, and then I go, well, I don't know really what this song wants to say, and then came January 6th, 2021, and I wrote a whole song in real time that I called January 6th. But then later, as things evolved after January 6th, life handed me the third verse to this song. So it's called Selfie. Smile for the camera, take another selfie, make sure that the angle's just right. Smile for the camera, all the cool kids agree at the prom you were out of sight. It starts out when you're young and so naive. The smile's full of vanity, mouthfuls of profanity, tiny heads and hearts as big as kings. Worship of the self and all that brings. Smile for the camera, shake your money maker, you put it out there on the web. Smile for the camera, how long did it take you to make 6 figures and never leave your bed? She draws you in with diamonds up her sleeve. Smiles full of vanity, the mouthfuls of profanity, the tiny hearts and heads as big as kings. The worship of the self and all that bling. Smile for the camera as you attack the nation. Be sure to post it all online. Smile for the camera. I'll get it. Smile for the camera as you attack the nation. Be sure to post it all online. What the? Has that ever happened to any of you? Right? Never, right? We're not done. We can, yes. Smile for the camera as you attack the nation. Be sure to post it all online. Smile for the camera, selfie incrimination. You busted yourself this time. But will you ever serve any time? Will you ever pay for your crime? He draws you down the hole till you believe like a fool. The smiles full of vanity, the mouthfuls of profanity, the tiny hearts and heads as big as kings. Worship of the self and all that brings. Smile for the camera, take another selfie. Thank you. Sometimes. I'd like to acknowledge the other songwriters here. We have Dave Land. Dave, where do you live? Do you live in Walnut Creek or? Danville. Dave from Danville. And I'd like to say that Dave hosts an open mic at Pinot's Palette in Danville the last Tuesday of every month. Correct? So that's coming up in a week from Tuesday.
Yeah, it's good.
Super.
That's for songwriters.
Yeah, it's a songwriters open mic. Yeah. And I've been twice, and it's been great fun. It's an interesting group of folks who know you and come out.
It is.
Yeah, great.
I appreciate you coming out. Too.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. Thank you. We have Robert Parker here. He's if you've never heard this man's songs, do you have anything on the internet now? You do, don't you? One. So Robert D. Parker, is it Robert D. Parker? And which one is it? Why Wyoming? Yeah. Robert D. Parker, Why Wyoming? Worth your time, trust me. Yes.
My sister and brother-in-law moved to Wyoming. I can tell you why.
Robert cannot tell you why. So being from Indiana, we get some snow every now and then. particularly in the past. The winter of 1977 and 78, excuse me, was famous or infamous, whichever way you want to call it. It was an immense blizzard in early 1978. I feel very badly because I missed it. I was in Taiwan in 1977 and 78, so I missed the great blizzard of 78. But it's legendary. There are photos. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. And a friend of mine, he's a friend now. He wasn't a friend then. He's a photographer, and back in Indiana, every now and then they would do these things called like Sparks Across the Arts, and they would bring people of various media together. Yeah, Peaches. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Peaches. You're okay. Don't worry, it's all right. I was intimidated, and I'm behind him. Let's see, where was I? Oh, the snow and stuff. Yeah. So this photographer took a picture at the very end of the great blizzard of '78. So it's an empty field, and it's a tree with no leaves on it, and like a puddle with like some snow around it. It's like, so, okay, that's my blizzard of '78. And the fun thing is that ever since that first photograph, he sends one every year or two, and I'll write a song about it, and I'll play some of those again. But this is the first one that we did together. This is called Winter's Bone. I had just seen that movie, but with Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Winter's Bone. And it was very stark and gray, and it just kind of like, yeah, that's what this photo says to me. This is Winter's Bone. Dull, the earth was bare, reflected in that puddle there. I stood amazed, could only stare at the field out all alone. There were no leaves to clothe the tree. I closed my eyes and still could see the skeleton in front of me, the spell of winter's bone. The blizzard came like all things past. Snow and ice can never last. The wind will come, the summer go. Autumn falls on all below. Winter will return again. Smells tone our sin. Time the way seems clear, the reason why we all are here. But we build fences far and near where wild things once roamed. From this barren land new life will sprout. Of that there simply is no doubt, leaving us the time to figure out the spell of winter's bone. The blizzard came like all things past. The snow and ice could never last. The spring will come, the summer go. Autumn falls on all below. Winter will return again. Seasons change, tone our sin. Turn it upside down, spinning round and around and around and around. Earth and sky embrace amazing grace. There were no leaves to clothe the tree. I closed my eyes but still could see the skeleton in front of me, the spell of winter's bone. There's that. There's that. Thank you. Thank you. I've got one more here before we take a little break, an intermission. If CDs are your thing, please come see me. I do have plenty. You are welcome to take me home with you. But otherwise, come meet Mike and me and amongst yourselves, and we'll do another set. So please don't go anywhere. So this is a song called "Water Rising," and it was also written from one of Terry's photographs. He had photographed. It was like a canoe, but it was broken, and it was kind of washed up on the shore, and there was like foam, and it was dark, and it was kind of the way I work with this photos is I'll put it on my screensaver on my computer, so every time I get on, boom, there's that photograph, and it's like, oh, okay, and so I just let the subconscious, work on it, and so that photograph was up for quite some time, and I thought, well, surely, and I came up with a song, and I thought, well, this song is about the boat, and then I thought, no, I think the song's about me. And then I thought, actually, no, this was right about the time that so many refugees were leaving from Syria, particularly, heading to Europe, trying to escape bloodshed in Syria. And I realized, actually, this was just like going on all over the world, and still is, all these refugees on the move, and I realized this is a song about refugees. It's called "Water Rising." Water rising carried me far from my home. Water rising, sticks and stones broke my bones. Water rising stranded me on the shore. Water rising crushed my bow, split the oar. Water rising, dark and deep, below the foam. Water rising, carry me back to my home. Water rising, carry me to my new home. Thank you so much. That's Mal Mike Miller, also known as Mickey Finn, when he plays his original songs that are kind of like Beatles.
Yeah.
Very much like Beatles.
I had a question that
Yes.
goes into that part of the song. It's about the song he just played. I love that little part. What does that signify? Because it was like it's a little break and then it goes back to the melody. So what were you thinking when you added that little part?
So, you know, and if you heard the songs, you know, that last verse is like, carry me back to my home. But then you find out in the next verse, it's carry me to my new home.
New home, yeah.
So it's like, it's an energized lift, you know, it's like, here we are kind of just like this, and it's like, no, it's my new home.
So we're embracing it.
We're embracing
Oh,
it.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
'Cause I love the energy that you invigorate, like with the.
Thank you. The kid who plays the flugelhorn with me on that, he goes, that's my favorite part of that song. Anyway, so here we are, and don't go away, please. We'll do another set, and thank you so much for coming. And thanks to Lou and Joan for having us here, for John for videoing this, for all of you to be here. Thank you.
And welcome back for the second half of this three-half show. Just a reminder, Joe does have CDs. How many recording CDs have you recorded, Joe?
Well, now, actually, I can actually answer that because I've kept a master list of my recordings over the years, but I hadn't updated it since I moved to California. And since I was playing with Mike and Joanne lately, they said, well, how many songs do you have? I said, I don't know. So I went home and I grabbed my CDs and I counted them up, and it's 226 written or co-written songs recorded on 18 albums. Yeah.
But you've written more since then. It's not recorded yet.
And in the last 2 months, I wrote 10 more songs for a new album with Linda Hicks. And I'll share one of those at the very end today. One of these brand new songs. Well, she had been once, and we did play at a place in Lafayette called Boneheads. In fact, Dave used to play there, Boneheads Barbecue. So she's been here, and she sung with me in California, but well, we'll try again. She's keen to come. She's retired now. So, yeah.
Joe Peter.
Wow. Thank you all for hanging out and sticking around for this. This is called One More Time. So when I was working on these, figuring out what I wanted to play for y'all today, I wisely consulted my wife because she's much wiser than me. And so she's back there going, yep. So she suggested that in that first set, I put the songs that I've written solely, you know, that they're all my words and music. But since the pandemic in particular, I've been doing a lot of collaborating with lyricists, and I've just been having a blast putting other people's lyrics to music. So I'm going to feature some of those in this second set, and this is one of them. It's called One More Time. I'm not Muddy Waters, I'm not Michael Bublé. I sing it the way I sing it because I sing it that way. I know it's not for everybody, so I will not be hateful if you go. Give me one more show, 2 or 3 or 4. If I want any more, I'll let you know. I love to hang around and talk a little more, but it's showtime and I have to go. I am my daughter's father, my mother's son, kinda old, but there's still business to be done. Well, I put a piece of me in every song, a few more ditties and I might be gone. Give me one more show, 2 or 3 or 4. If I want any more, I'll let you know. Well, I'd love to hang around and talk a little more, but it's showtime and I have to go. I never got to have a great big hit, but I mean it when I say I don't give a. That fame would have just gone straight to my head, and all that money, honey, would have killed me dead. So give me one more show, 2 or 3 or 4. If I want any more, I'll let you know. Well, I'd love to hang around and talk a little more, but it's showtime and I have to go. Well, I'd love to hang around and talk a little more, but it's showtime and I have to go. Well, it's showtime and I have to go. It's showtime.
And that song's featured on your podcast interview.
By golly, it is, isn't it? Thank you, Lou. And that can be heard right there. So, yeah, you probably noticed I got red shoes. So
Oh, I didn't notice.
you didn't notice. I'll tell you a little story. So, some years ago, probably 10, I'm guessing, we were down in San Jose because Di's mom used to live down in San Jose. So we were out on El Camino Real somewhere, and there's this little shop. It's a Skechers store, and we just popped in. And there on the clearance rack, in my size, was one pair of red tennis shoes by Skechers. I go, well, it's red, though. She said, that's okay. Nothing wrong with red. So I buy these red shoes on clearance. I mean, they'd practically given them away. And so then, you know, they were just my shoes. And then so I played a gig or two, and it's like, oh, it's the guy with the red shoes. And it's like, then people expected me to show up in red shoes. But I wore them out. So then, when we moved to California, I was out at the little Pleasant Hill Mall, and Vans on the Wall had these. And I go, well, hell, I just retired that first pair of Skechers. Seems like people want red shoes. So I even bought a pair of red hiking boots. Yeah. So, the other day, fella noticed. So I played, and I think you were there, Mike. I showed up at Campbell Theater because I had been here for Dave Nachmanoff a few weeks ago. It was a Sunday, and I hightailed it to Campbell Theater for the open mic up there. And I get there, I mean, it started, so I go in there without my red shoes. And there was one, number 2 slot was actually open. Everything was like 20-some songs, but number 2, nobody signed up. So I go, oh. So I signed up, so I jump right up on the stage and play my stuff, and then I got heckled for not having red shoes. So I go, well, I'm not going to do that again. So here's the little story about these songs. Thank you. We're going to try something.
I almost wore my bright blue clearance sneakers. They're real thick soles, and I almost wore them. That would have been funny. But I'm not known for them. Yeah. Thank you, Joe.
So, yeah. So there's an album called that I did called Ordinary Joe. And my friend, our friend, Di and I had a dear friend named Patty McKee. And she was just the quietest, sweetest person you would ever meet. She was like invisible Patty. She was the kind of person that is just so sweet and reticent that you don't even notice she's there. She went unnoticed by almost everyone in her life, but she through a mutual friend playing music, she became a fan of the music, and she really kind of became my number 1 fan over many years, and encouraged me on a number of songs that I thought, well, does this song work? And I would run it by Patty, and she'd say, I like it, you know. So anyway, many years into our friendship, out of the blue, she writes a song, and it's called Joe's Red Shoes. And as soon as I heard it, I go, Patty, I'm going to bring you into the studio. You're going to be a rock star. Come on in and sing your song. So it's on Ordinary Joe. It is on the internet. It's called Joe's Red Shoes. Patty passed away about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Yep, she had non-smoking related lung cancer. And back when we lived in Indiana, she had surgery. And we took good care of her. But, you know, things continued to go south for her. So this is for Patty, and it's called Joe's Red Shoes. And I should say that whenever I go back to Indiana, I don't take a guitar because I got so many friends with so many guitars. But one person in particular is Cheryl, and she has a red Fender, and she always loans me this red guitar when I go back. So Patty, put that in here. Saw a guitar player the other night. He had a red guitar, he was out of sight. Oh, I looked down, what did I see? He had matching red shoes, yes sirree. Played his songs, what do you know? I'd go anywhere to hear old Joe. But he got my whole life playing songs about the love of his life. He writes songs left and right about life and love and things. His wife died. They're the couple that can't be beat. His red shoes and I, so sweet. If you see a guy playing a red guitar, belongs to Cheryl, she's a superstar. But those red shoes, they are all Joe. If they wear out, he'll go buy more. Joe's red shoes, now he'll never lose. Uxorious man, he'll never sing the blues. Joe's red shoes, no, how can he lose? He has his beautiful wife and those crazy, crazy red shoes. Do 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 do. There's Joe's red shoes. That's for dear Patty. Yeah. All right. So, I don't know, because actually, last Saturday night we were in Marshall, out over Tamales Bay. I have a friend out there who has a home out there between Nick's Cove and Hog Island Oyster Company. Anyway, and it was overcast. You know, out there you get that fog. So we didn't see any northern lights. But did anybody here see any northern lights? No. You know they came way down south last Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Friends in Indiana shooting stellar shots. Michigan, holy smokes. Washington State. It's like, wow. But several years ago, I've made 2 trips to Iceland. I have a traveling buddy, and I'll tell you more about him in the next song. But I wrote this song on very first trip to Iceland, 2016, and I called it Northern Lights because it was my first introduction to the Northern Lights. And since they recently visited a lot of people in the U.S. who don't normally get visited, I thought I'd do this song. And yeah, I don't know what you'll be able to do on this one, Mike, but you'll figure it out. Yeah. Traveled eastward over the seas, carried onward by the Valkyries, up every mountain, across the streams, northern lights in my Arctic dreams. Now we have come to the land of ice and snow, where hot springs boil and the cold winds blow, to stand together under the stars at night, bearing witness to these northern lights. Northern lights will lead me home. We took the road less traveled, of course. Our only company was a long-maned horse. We scaled the lighthouse at the edge of the earth, stood right where the world was given birth. Always in awe, all of the sights. Above them all were these northern lights. Northern lights will lead me home. Emerald waves dance in the skies. Northern lights dance in our eyes. They bear the warrior to the halls of Valhalla. Northern lights will lead me. Northern lights will lead me. Northern lights will lead me home. Well, thank you. You were very kind, Virgil. I will admit that some of these recordings are pretty good, even if the guy up here doing them live is something less than. Anyway, so that trip and many trips. So in 2015, a friend of mine, his name is Gary Allison. He's also known as Sergeant Huey because he was a Vietnam veteran, 2 tours. His second tour was a door gunner and a crew chief on a helicopter. And so those helicopters were known as Hueys, so his nickname, his rank was Sergeant, his nickname became Sergeant Huey. I met him through my father. He was my mom and dad's neighbor for a couple of years. And my dad was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, so Sergeant Allison paid him good respect because of rank. But Dad and Gary are very different people, and so Dad quickly passed Gary on to the son, to Joe, because Gary and I are much more alike. And so he used to travel every year, and when his traveling partner passed away, he reached out to me, and he said, "Do you want to go traveling?" And I said, well, let me talk to Di. And I talked to Di, and she said, yeah, you should go. Why don't you go to Calgary? And it's like, so I thought, well, let me file that away. And next time I talked to Gary, she says, let's go. And he said, great. He said, I'm thinking about Calgary. It's like, all right, this is going to work. So our first trip together was in Alberta, and then we went to Iceland one year, and the next year, and then we went to Norway the next year, and then we went back to Iceland. And each year we would rent an RV and just go wherever we wanted and just park it wherever we wanted. Park it. We did not park it where the sun don't shine, which is one of Mike's songs. But it was many years of knowing and traveling with this guy intimately. And I love how you're like, Linda, you're like tied, your leash is like peaches. Short change. I can see that. You're on the short leash today, Linda. That's all right. So it was many years that he revealed to me that during therapy for PTSD from war-related PTSD, he was in group therapy for many years in Detroit in the 80s. And during that therapy, he would write poems. And he's like, I wrote some poems, you know. It's like, dude, I'm going to make you a songwriter. So that's what I did. I took several of his poems and turned them into songs. This is one that he wrote called Blood. I was wet. It was blood. Flung against me, airspeed rushing in my open door. Wounded men lying out of order on the floor. It was dark, I felt cold, hands slipping on all I hold. It must be rain, it can't be blood. Youth basking in sunlight, snatched away with a thud. So much blood I couldn't see, and it never washed completely. It never washed completely, and it's still there. It's still there. I can feel it, like eyes watching from the jungle, pass or share, react or reenact. I look away, it's still there. I look away, it's still there. It must be rain, it can't be blood. Youth basking in the sunlight, snatched away with a thud. So much blood I couldn't see, and it never washed completely. It never washed completely. It never washed completely. It's still there. Thank you. Thank you. Well, a few weeks ago I was here and I got to play a song with Dave Nachmanoff in the band, and I'd like to do that song.
Dance music.
Cool. You ready for this? Don't sit down. No, this is a dance tune.
Rock and roll dance.
So being from Indiana, I'm a basketball fan. Down in the islands, they've got zombies. Yes, they've got them wall to wall. And they come up north in the winter time to play zombie basketball. Now zombies, they like basketball, but I'm sure you can plainly see when parts of the players are falling off, they don't play like you and me. Now zombies don't score many points, you wouldn't think they would. When their arms are lying on the floor, their shots are not so good. Now who's that staggering down the court? Must be a zombie guard. Whenever one of his hands falls off, it makes dribbling mighty hard. But I saw a zombie center. He played great for a guy who was dead. Sometimes he'd get so excited, or he would slam dunk his own head. They've even got the zombie cheerleaders. They'll give you quite the fright. 'Cause one of them looks just like the girl that I saw with Dave last night. Down in the islands they've got zombies, yes, they've got them wall to wall. When they come up north in the winter time to play zombie basketball. Oh, they come up north in the winter time to play zombie basketball. Sorry, Dave, you're just sitting all alone. That was
It was worth it.
It's a good story.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to you later.
Anybody here a veteran of military service? No, yeah. I find that encouraging, frankly. I'm a veteran, but I joined the Peace Corps, not the War Corps. That's just what I was drawn to do, and so did Di. We both served 2+ years in Ecuador and South America. So, but Lou has had a career that reminds me of the military, just because it's full of discipline and hierarchy, and I'm sure you have each other's backs when you fight fires. And so, anyway, we'll dedicate this to Lou because he's as close as to the military as we get. Little story. So my grandfather, so my mother's father, he was an Army guy. He was in World War I, he was in World War II. By the time he was World War II, he wasn't old enough to be in combat, but he was in charge of the motor pool at Fort Benjamin Harrison, Indiana. And it was a major sort of jumping off point for troops to go overseas. And so many, many units passed through his motor pool. And when they did, he would ask them for their service patch. So over the years, he would get the 10th, the 7th Cavalry, the 1st Airborne, the 81st, the 101st, hundreds of patches that then I think it was his mother, sewed them on an Army blanket. And so, about the size of Lou's backdrop here. And so it's this olive drab Army blanket with all these service patches. I grew up with that blanket as a wee kid. We would play this game, all the cousins and my sister and I see a patch and it's red, blue, and black, and then you would have to, getting closer, no, getting further away. We played just hours and hours on this blanket. So the blanket eventually found its way through the family to me. And it was, I hung it up in my music room in Indiana, just knowing, like, the way the subconscious works, that like those photos, something would come from that. And so I'd like to share you the song that came from that. And I'd like to say also that that blanket now is one of the, it's just so heartwarming. So I donated it to the Museum of 20th Century Warfare at Fort Benjamin Harrison, which is now a state park. Wow. So it's come full circle, and they built this incredible display. So there's the blanket. There's a few things from the colonel, as we called him. His holster, his .45 holster, his Eisenhower jacket, I think, is there. So anyway, some of his memorabilia plus this, and believe me, I've been to the museum enough that the people come in, and inevitably, if they're veterans, they go try to find their service patch. That's my unit, So naturally, this is called Patches. say it all about those who weren't afraid to fall. All those who answered to the call. There's the Army, Navy, and Marines. Mountains, jungles, desert scenes, red, white, and blue on olive green, worn by men still in their teens. My hat goes off to all of you. I couldn't do what you had to do to save us all in World War II. The sacrifice that was borne by you, this blanket's a patch of history, sewn by men who set us free from guns and war and tyranny. The blood was shed for you and me, for me. I know that yours is the greatest generation. From what I've seen, this might be true. As you ride off into the sunset, I smile and tip my hat to you, to you. These patches on the wall sorta kinda say it all. With Memorial Day coming up, I thought should share that. All right. So, earlier this year, released an album, actually a double album of co-writes with my lyricist. Hello. Eh? Earlier this year, I released a double album of co-writes with my lyricist pal Frederick Michaels. He's so much fun to work with because I just like making shit up. like Gramps, like I told you, he's my role model and mentor. So, and I'm afraid I'm going to say this because it's on the recording anyway. So I busted myself. So at night I like to get high, and I like to grab my guitar, and then I just make shit up. And so
We could be friends.
we could. So my pal, he just keeps sending like stacks and stacks of lyrics. He's a poet and he's retired, so I think he just writes all day long. And you know, when I have a riff or whatever, I'll start going through his songs and I go, yeah, it doesn't fit cadence wrong. Oh, hang on, this. Oh, so then we have a wedding, you know, of lyrics and music, and so this song you're about to hear is happened just that way. So it's called "What Life Is All About." You tell a few lies. That's what life was all about. What life was all about. Lakeside was the right place for taking a little stroll. Sundown was the prime time for you to let the good times roll. Magic was that moment for looking into her eyes. Loving love was so precious, with some luck was to bind the tide. A little bit of moonbeam, a little bit of starlight, a little bit of loving to keep you warm at night. You stare at the skies, you tell a few lies. That's what life was all about. all about. Look back on these heady days and revel in their charm. The movie show taking it slow never did you any harm. Never did you harm. One day, maybe Sunday, you got down on one knee. She said yeses for the rest. Who knew how long the rest would be? 30 years or maybe 57 grandkids on your lap. Finally find a clue to the question of where it's at. A little bit of moonbeam, a little bit of starlight, a little bit of moonlight. What life was all about. What life was all about. Woo! Thank you. You guys are also very kind. You're very fun. I'm appreciative.
Also
Truly.
very lucky
Why is that?
because we're here.
Oh! Virgil, you're so sweet. Thank you. So, this is another co-write from that album released earlier this year. It was called. He called it "Some Things New, Some Things Old" because we had never done an album together. I've done songs of his on other albums, but we hadn't done a project together. So he wanted to grab some of the song co-writes that we did earlier and put them on an album, and then these new ones on a second album. That's why it's a double album. Sorry. And this one is called Childhood Things. The Ferris wheel stands frozen still against November's light. It's iron and steel, a man-made hill launch young hopes in flight. The midway sounds are long since gone, no vendor hawks his game. Well, love's sweet song may echo on, its tune is not the same. The carousel of life would turn, its mirrors whirl and horses churn. Calliope music filled the air, yet magic's no longer there. Childhood things may all have happy endings. Still, as we know, we come to grow. It isn't always so. It's sad we can't go home again, rewind the years like string. The lives would turn out just the same, those bells you can't unring. The carousel of life would turn, its mirrors whirl and horses churn. Calliope music filled the air, yet magic's no longer. Calliope music may fill the air, but the magic's no longer there. Thank you. Well, there are, now I'm hoping Dave is listening to this. He'll find out why. So, Linda, Virgil, Lou, and I have all been to Pacific Songwriting Camp. And it's down in Cambria in January. Just planting a seed there. It's great fun. It's Michael McNevin is one of the co-organizers. So anyway, yeah. So this song, I co-wrote this song at this year's Pacific Songwriting Camp. It was fun because last year I went and I did write a song there because you're encouraged to do so, write a new song at the camp. Oh, Robert Parker, sorry, he's all songwriting camp veteran, alum. I know, right? It's like Ken, Linda, Virgil, and it stops there. Yeah, because I mean, after all, why Wyoming, right? But I thought, well, why should I have all the fun? So I reached out to my lyricist pal, and I said, I'm at songwriting camp. We could write a song. So he sent these lyrics, and it was like such a blessing. It was like the perfect, it's just what I wanted to hear at songwriting camp. And this is called The Fun Has Just Begun. A woman sits beside you, peering deep to find your key. She listens for your downbeat, seeking out your notes of three. Your half-hidden rhythm sets the child within you free and makes you dance. You didn't stand a chance. Feels like a dream, strange as it seems. You try to flee, but you just can't run. 'Cause the truth is you're having too much fun, and the fun has just begun. She picks tunes on your heartstrings, playing you for all you're worth. Your heart is doing backflips as she guides you back to earth. Exhausted on the dance floor, you fall head first in a trance from her very first glance. Feels like a dream, strange as it seems. You try to flee, but you just can't run. 'Cause the truth is you're having too much fun, and the fun has just begun. You've never been a dancer, but your feet hold the answer. If ever you are going to have a chance with her, get up and dance. Get up and dance. You sit breathing deeply, stare into her eyes. She smiles and you're wordless. Words don't come, that's no surprise. She asks, are you done dancing? You don't think that it's wise, but in this game of chance, you know you must dance. Feels like a dream, strange as it seems. You try to flee, but you just can't run. 'Cause the truth is, you're having too much fun, and the fun has just begun. The fun has just begun. Thank you. That's from Song Camp. Going back next year, Lou? Oh, yeah. How about you guys? Oh, yes. There you go. And now with Dave, it's unanimous.
Try it, you like it.
The new guy has to drive.
Actually, when you ride with Lou, I mean, that trip home went so fast. But man, did you and I get sick. Holy cow. That was brutal. Oh well. Things come, things go. It is a pretty intimate setting, right? So, yeah, Indiana, right? Anybody here been to Indiana? Oh, Dunes, okay. Yes, Joe, I know. Why have you been there, Virgil?
South Bend, my grandmother.
Oh, South Bend, that's a, okay. Notre Dame University.
Columbia City.
Sure, no Columbia City. Used to be part of my dad's circuit when he was a outside salesman. But, and how about you?
Went for a class.
Oh, for a class. In Indianapolis or? Yeah, gotcha.
So I did the question.
Oh, okay. Well, what about you, Joe?
I remember a cross-country trip leaving Chicago, and Indiana is right there.
Yes, truly it is. Yes, yes. Well, if you've been, you'd know it's, especially the northern part of the state, covered in corn and soy. I mean, that's just what Indiana does. It's a farming state. And this song is called Family Farm. I co-wrote this with my friend Cheryl, the same red guitar person. She's a family farmer. She's third generation, and her father's passed away, and she doesn't know what's going to happen to the farm. So we wrote this. The forest welcomes autumn, leaves a shimmering gold, walking through the gentle woods, so far from the road. I know that I have found my way. I stop and stand alone. There before me I can see the story of my home. Granddad tilled the land round here, the bills kept piling year on year. Family farm hangs by a thread. It's auction day and draws near. They planted the bottomland where floods had left their silt. They readied for the harvest. The corn crib soon was built. They were the first to farm this land up to their ears in corn. They soon would build another crib when their first child was born. And Granddad tilled the land round here, but the bills kept piling year on year. Family farm hangs by a thread. It's auction day draws near. Legacy has now been lost, this grandson forced to sell. Nothing sure except death and tax, and a family farm death knell. Family farm.
You can end every song with a
Yeah.
just raise your hand.
The other day I played an open mic in Livermore at Swirl on the Square. And I didn't play this song, but I did play a song with the capo on the 9th fret. And another songwriter there goes, "Look at that, you capoed on the 9th fret."
Is that allowed?
I don't think so. I think I broke some unwritten rule.
If anyone's gonna break it, it's gonna be you.
Yeah, kind of, right? It's got really short strings now. So that last song, Family Farm, although it was written with my friend Cheryl, it was inspired by a photograph taken by my friend Terry. And the photograph was this old corn crib put out in the middle of a woods. So obviously once it had been a cornfield and not abandoned. And of course in Indiana or anywhere that you don't cut it, the trees will grow if there's enough moisture. So it was a photograph. And this next song is also written from one of Terry's photographs. He loves fishing, this guy. So he was out in eastern Montana fishing, not Wyoming, Montana. And he took this photograph at this place, and it's just kind of like plains, but there's an old abandoned cemetery, and the thing that's still there is this iron arch, and the arch says Lame Jones. It's like, okay. So apparently Lame Jones was a historical person who did go to Montana in 1869. And that's all I have. So I made up this story. And I wanted a little guidelines for the story, so I took an old Chinese proverb about a farmer who finds a horse, and everybody says, "Oh, what great fortune." And the farmer just says, "Maybe." And, he plows the field with this horse and all. But his son jumps on the horse one day and goes off riding and is thrown off the horse, and he breaks his leg. And all the village goes, "Oh, what terrible fortune has fallen you now." And the farmer goes, "Yeah, maybe." And then sometime later, the army rolls through looking for recruits, and they take all the young men, and they don't take the son because he's lame from falling off the horse. So that's where Lame Jones comes from. Jones headed west to strike his claim. In 1869, pistol in his vest, fortune and fame lay buried in the mine. This lonesome valley is where he made his home. He dug its riches where the antelope do roam. A wild man inside, no one could ever tame. And here's the story of what this Mr. Jones became. Jones on his horse rode out one day, hunting elk out on the range. Had a water source, a stallion's neigh. He roped it home and his world began to change. His friends and neighbors cried, "You're the damnedest man alive. A horse so wild and free, a fair match for your pride." Next time he went a-hunting, well, he rode that big old bay. But the stallion threw him against a rock and left him there where he lay. Jones crawled home back with a shattered leg. road he knowed would never be the same. His world grew black, heaven he begged. What good am I now that I am lame? The army came to gain recruits for the Indian wars. They left lame Jones alone, for he could ride a horse no more. They saddled all the healthy men who were never seen again. Jones, he took a lovely wife who settled in the glen with him. Jones gave his name to a thriving town. He raised his kids and cattle on the plains. By the time I came, it was all tore down. Only the graves and names remain. Jones headed west, fortune and fame. Nothing left there now but his bones. Jones headed west to stake his claim. This is the story of lame Jones. This is the story of lame Jones. Thank you so much. 5:30, not too bad. Got one more song for you, and yeah. You're good. You're good. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Joan, for having me. I'm really honored and thrilled. The talent that has played Peach's Patio is immense, and I'm not worthy, but here I am. So,
Disagree with that one.
oh my. So, I did mention that, like, in the last couple months, I've written 10 songs, co-written. Excuse me. Wow, co-written 10 songs, and to record with my friend Linda, and this is one of them. Yes, of course, and I think it's a cautionary tale about unbridled greed. That's what I take away from this. It's called "Turn Out the Lights." Raindrops whisper on the falling rooftops. Wind gusts whistle through the splintered eaves. Shutters rattle on the empty street shops. Shattered doors now lack any need for keys. This town is just a shell with a broken heart. Money in its flight ripped her very soul apart. Forgotten in her blight, she cries out every night, when you leave, won't you please turn out the lights? Banks here weren't always made of marble, held your mortgage as a trusted friend. Farms closed down by paper-serving marshals, even banks went bust at the very end. This town is just a shell with a broken heart. Money in its flight ripped her very soul apart. Forgotten in her blight, she cries out every night, when you leave, won't you please turn out the light? We live in prosperous times, but you know that that history rhymes. And the 1930s aren't that long ago, don't you know? Don't you know? Progress marches on to where it takes her, leaves dark spirits moaning in her wake. Green by love or else by nature, at times always fall victim to those fates. This town is just a shell with a broken heart. Money in his flight ripped her very soul apart. Forgotten in her blight, she cries out every night, when you leave, won't you please turn out the light? When you leave, won't you please turn out the light? When you leave, won't you please turn out the light? Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank Mountain Mike Miller for coming down. And if you get a chance to catch this guy, do. He's got two personas. One is Mickey Finn, Beatles-like songs, and one is Mountain Mike Miller, which is Americana country. Dave Land, catch him where you can. Where are you playing next, Dave?
Tomorrow I'll be at the Pleasant Hill Art, Wine, and Music Festival.
Sweet. That's outdoors. I bet it's free. And is it one of those parks there, isn't it?
It is right off the Crescent. It's like the Crescent Plaza or whatever.
Gotcha.
Crescent Bridge, right in the middle of downtown.
What time do you play, Dave?
I'm at 1:30.
Oh, cool. It runs in the afternoon.
It does.
Sweet. Congratulations. Robert D., are you playing anywhere? No. Not even anywhere in Niles? No? Frederico's? The Mud Puddle Shop? You never know. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Joan. Immensely. Yes. Thanks to all of you coming. Appreciate it greatly.
Thank all of you for being here. Some of you have been here before. You know who you are, and thank you for coming back. Some of you are new, and I hope you come back again. We're going to take a little break for the summer. The next concert is going to be, get the date, first weekend in August, I believe it is. It's going to be late for the train. They played here 2-3 times, at least twice. And they're amazing.
They are.
A lot of strings. And
August 10th.
what's that? August
10th.
August the 10th. So I have a sign-up sheet over there if you want to leave your name and an email, or if you like text, leave your phone number, and we'll make sure that you know well in advance of when that's going to be. And I can't thank you enough for being here. And I think it's a real tribute to the musicians that play here when other musicians, singer-songwriters come and listen to them. So thank you so much for being here, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
And where do we catch you next?
Right here.
To hold him to that.
Yeah, I have Joe's actually helped me a lot. I have 5 years ago, in fact, that's where I met Robert and Virgil and Linda at that song camp we're talking about.
5 years?
And 5 years. 2019, January. So it's nothing I've ever done before, but I thought, hey, this might be fun. And I have terrible stage fright, absolute terrible. I can't even remember my own name. But Joe actually encouraged me to go to the bistro in Hayward. And because I have terrible stage fright, I turned an alter ego on. If I put some glasses and a white suit on, who do I look like?
Spitting image.
Spitting image. So, and I wrote a song at Song Camp about Colonel Sanders, and so that helped me a little bit.
What's the gist of the song, Lou? Did Colonel Sanders die a vegan?
Yes. Yeah. It's a confessional song.
Yeah,
But I actually got to play it at Song Camp with a band. I put a band together at the last minute, and it turned out okay. But anyway, maybe the Colonel will show up at some other time.
I hope so.
But please, sign up. Snacks, beverages, load your pockets, take them
put
home.
my
And,
name in.
because we're not gonna eat them over the next couple of months for sure. I'd also like to thank Ken. Ken is also a videographer and photographer that comes to many of our events. I was sitting, I think, where Robert was sitting for one of the performances. I can't remember what it was. And so Ken's doing his magic. He's moving around here like a ninja. And the finished product had this solar panel feature.
Solar panel.
And so I gave him the idea. I says, you know, you can make some money by this by putting rent this space.
Neon sign.
Yeah, neon sign, rent this space. So, but thank you so much for being here. And John,
And
thank you for
John.
your work as well. And I do hope to see everybody here back in August. So thank you very much.
Can I get this off?
CDs, gas money, PayPal,
Okay,
it's all there.
I didn't get your. Can I copy your sentence? Begging for an encore?